We have here the new telephone book. New telephone book, okay? Everybody got one? All right, well, we also have here a magnifying glass. You see, even though this brand new telephone book there is right in front of me, I need the help of this magnifying glass just to ever get a name and a number out of it. Now, since everybody's kind of volunteered to be so honest, now, all right, this is the time of truthfulness. No kind of getting out on this one. How many others here need some kind of help to see this telephone book? Oh, okay, a few others, and then the rest of you, I don't know. But anyway, I do need the help just to see what's right in front of me. In our gospel tonight, Jesus tells stories to help people who couldn't seem to see what was right in front of them. It's a little bit like me and the phone book. I need help to see what's right in front of me. So, tell some stories that were familiar, with things that are familiar to them. He uses what's familiar to them to show the contrast between small beginnings and great results. Some seeds are very small. The mustard seed, a very small seed, yet it grows into a bush so large that the birds of the air can come and rest in its branches. A little bit of yeast left in the dough overnight makes it rise into bread that feeds a family. From very small beginnings, great things can happen. He told these stories also to people who just couldn't seem to wait to find out who was going to be punished and who was going to be rewarded in God's kingdom. Who is going to be punished? Who is going to be rewarded? Let's know now. Well, he tells them the story of the landowner who sowed good seed in his field. During the night, an enemy comes and sows weeds among the wheat. But he tells his workers, he says, wait. Don't try to wait for the harvest. Don't you try to separate the wheat from the weeds. You don't know enough about it. You'll take up the wheat along with the weeds. You must wait until the harvest. Well, he also told these stories to people who just couldn't see why Jesus would include people that didn't seem to keep the religious laws of his day. People that were regarded as sinners and outcasts. They said to him, well, why don't you just get rid of them now? Then you can teach the good people, the people that keep the law. Jesus tells them, the kingdom of God, the message of Christ, can grow very silently in a person, just like the seeds in the ground and the yeast in the bread. because we can't see it happening, we can only see at the end. Then we will see great things. What looks like nothing happening, nothing's in a person, great things can come. And it's happening right before your eyes if you choose to see it. My kingdom is at work. Because that kingdom of God grows silently, grows slowly inside a person, only God can judge that person. Only God knows what's going on inside. We don't. We're like the workers in the wheat field. Don't try and do it. You're not able. You're going to do more harm than good. You're going to make all kinds of mistakes. We have to leave the judging to God, and God will do it in God's time, not ours. Leave it up to God. We can't do it. Well, maybe an example will help. Recently, I attended the funeral of Diane. And Diane was the mother of a large family, and I've known her for many, many years. Diane was a good person, but she made some very bad choices in her personal life. So at her funeral, her adult children just kind of wrote down and they read just a summary of their feelings about their mother. Very simply, they said, "Mother, you sometimes did things that made us very ashamed of you. But we want you to know that you are loved by us in spite of what you did." Well, as the funeral went on, other people began to tell of her returning to church or returning to God in the very last years of her life. Only at the very end, after a lot of prodding and urging, did she join a church. And just before she died, just a couple of weeks before she died, she stood up in the church and told the congregation about her journey back to God. Now, my opinion of Diane was much different after I heard that, because I too had judged her. And it reminded me of the lessons Jesus is trying to teach all of us in the gospel today. First, that because that kingdom of God grows so silently, where there is thought to be nothing, great things can come. And maybe that's how it grew in Diane's life. We just didn't see it there. But at the end, it was there. And because that we can't see inside a person, we aren't able to judge other people. We're like the workers in the field. We can't do that. We're not able to. Only God can do it, and we have to leave it to God. So now, on this beautiful day, as we continue on and prepare to share in the body and the blood of Christ, let's ask our God. Let's turn to God and ask our God for the help and the strength we need to remember how God's kingdom can grow inside a person, and to ask God's help not to judge others, but to leave that judging to God.